Welcome to episode 69 of our series on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. On today's episode, we will continue our quest to learn about the origins and meanings of Appalachian and Southern surnames. Just as a reminder, we're especially interested in names that arrived in our part of the country before the Industrial Revolution. Our search for their origins will take us today to England, Ireland, Scotland, Belgium, Germany, France, and Scandinavia, the home of those beloved Vikings. I hope you'll join me. Let's get started. Number one, meese. Okay, when I received this request, images of the cartoons that I watched as a kid popped into my mind. I bet it did for you too. Here's a line that came along with those images. I love Mises to pieces. But I think I have that quote incorrect, so maybe you can help me out with it. What cartoon was it in, and what was the true quote? Anyway, cartoons aside, does the surname refer to our little furry friends? Nope. Meese is an Americanized variant of the English Mies, and Mies meant the son of me. It could also be an Americanized form of the South German toponymic Mies. In that case, it was given to someone who lived near a bog. I couldn't find Meese among the traditional surnames of Ireland, Scotland, or Wales, so I think a paper trail will lead you to England or southern Germany. Number two, Van Hook. This surname and the next one, Vanover, are two prominent names in my hometown in East Tennessee. That'd be Oliver Springs, by the way. I was tempted to include them in the same discussion, but they're different names, although both share Dutch origins. In the case of Van Hook, it's been Americanized. In Holland and Belgium, it's spelled Van Hook, I don't know. In thinking about its meaning, I wanted to offer you an example of its use. Think of it as finding a quiet nook to take a break. More informally, or more formally I should say, it's a habitational name for one who lives in a corner of a bend in a waterway or a secluded quiet nook. I didn't find Van Hook among the traditional surnames of England, Scotland, Ireland, or Wales, so I think we are safe in calling Van Hook an Americanized Belgian or Dutch surname. Number three, Vanover. Before I delve into the origin and meaning of Vanover, I want to say that I wish I had $1 for every time that I've been called Dutch. My 6'3" stature, complexion, hair, and eye colors, along with my name, Van, lead people to think that I'm Dutch. The word van, with a small v and one n, means from in Dutch, so it's a preposition. Simple names like mine can have multiple origins, but none of the possible origins for Van, V-A-N-N, lead to Holland. On the other hand, Vanover takes us straight to a riverbank or shoreline in Holland, or the Netherlands. As with Van Hook, Vanover doesn't appear among the surnames of England, Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. Number four, Holt. This short surname shares an origin among two Germanic peoples, the Anglo-Saxons and the Old Norse speakers that we know and love as the Vikings. Simply put, it meant dweller in the woods. Since few people came from Scandinavia to Appalachia before the Civil War, most of the Holts in America will be of English or Irish origin. In England, Holt is most common in Lancashire and Yorkshire. Well, that's where the Vikings mostly settled too, so that's not surprising. But it's been in Ireland since the late 1290s. It first appeared in County Cork in 1295, but it has since spread throughout the land or the island, including Ulster. I think you'll need a paper trail to find the origin of your specific line of Holt, but I'm confident that it will lead you to England or Ireland. Number five, Hargis. Not haggis, but Hargis. While one reliable online source points to England in the spelling of Hargest, I was not able to confirm that claim. In fact, I couldn't find any form of the name among the traditional surnames of England, Scotland, Ireland, or Wales. The Dictionary of American Family Names points out that it could be an Americanized form of the German Hargis or the Frisian, it's your guess. Anyway, I couldn't confirm that claim, but I think that a Frisian or German origin is the most likely place. Surnames from the continent after the Norman conquest or in the later migration of Huguenot families from France to Great Britain and Ulster in the late 1680s typically came straight to America. Hargis certainly seems to follow that pattern. Number 6, Sinclair. To my daughter Sarah's delight, I could not convince her mom to name her Sinclair. In hindsight, I must admit that was not a good idea, but I wanted to give her a name with a writer's flair. Think Sinclair Lewis. On second thought, Agatha Christie would have been a better choice. As it turned out, Sarah is a licensed mental health counselor, so she is creating her own name. I'm proud of her. But in case my 23-year-old son Preston is watching, I'm proud of him too. He just received a promotion to Staff Sergeant in the Air Force. He also got married a couple weeks ago to a cute and talented young lady who's also in the Air Force. At any rate, the name Sinclair is a Scottish surname, but its roots go back to France and Normandy in particular. I can't talk today. Sorry about that. Like other prominent Scottish surnames like Bruce and Fraser, Sinclair was introduced into the Bonnie land by Norman nobles upon the invitation of David I, who reigned from 1124 to 1153. Although Sinclair's first landholdings were close to Edinburgh in the barony of Roslin, they put down roots and blossomed to Caithness in the north of Scotland. Later, the plantation of Ulster drew quite a few members of the family to Ireland, where they became part of the Scots-Irish or Irish Protestant community. Depending on where your line leads you, you could be Scots-Irish, Scottish, or Irish, or all three. Number 7, Scott. Well, I can only think of a few other names that evoke as much debate as the surname Scott. If you're thinking that it's associated with Scotland, you would be right, but wait, there's more. The Romans came up with the name Scotty in the 4th century to identify people from Northern Ireland or Ulster who wore lots of tattoos. Using that notion as a foundation, it's easy to see that the first use of the name was to identify an Irishman with tattoos. Later it came to be associated with a Scotsman. That's where it stands today. However, George Fraser Black claims that Scott is more common today in Northumberland than it is in the Bonnie land. Northumberland borders Scotland, so it's considered a border reiver name. Well, folks, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of the discussion. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until I see you again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.